All right, 48286. Pretty excited about this. She just released a handful of days ago. F-15E Black Panther drone killers. Unless you guys have been living under a rock, you're familiar with the missions that these aircraft flew out of undisclosed locations, so to speak. So they were there on a CENTCOM deployment, and they were involved in the downing of. They played their part in over 300 drones and missiles that were shot from Iran into Israel on the 13th of April. So these guys themselves are responsible for over 70 of those shoot downs. So we have the nose art attached to all 12 aircraft from this deployment. You can see a snapshot of all of them here. We'll get some closer in looks here in a second, just to show you how awesome this nose art is. We'll get to it, explain more about it here in a little bit. So it's interesting when you look at these tail numbers and then you see the style of nose art attached to a specific tail compared to the last deployment. It kind of becomes obvious that they have the same crew chief assigned to that aircraft, because the style and the topic of the nose art is kind of consistent from one deployment to the next on the same tail number. It's an interesting thing that we noticed when I was doing up the nose art. So the one that gets a whole lot of love online right now is Mullet. So pretty cool in that it had markings on both sides of the aircraft. Not all of them did. And then there's also some speed brake art on the specific jet. So you can see the Mullet nose art there. One of the things you'll notice is that these are the kill markings. They have little UAS stenciled out of the individual markings. I don't think you can tell that by looking at a lot of the photos online. Some of the close-up photos that were provided to us by the squadron, you can pick that out. And then, obviously, business of the front, party of the back. So that always goes. Little minor variations as far as the squadron, wing, command patch on the aircraft. So pay attention to those when you do all these. Also pay attention to the fact that some of these aircraft did not have fin flashes. Some had the traditional red and white fin flash. There's one aircraft that had the multicolored fin flash, and then there was a handful that didn't have any. So make sure whenever you decide which airplane you want to do that you look into that. So we got side views of all 12. Here's the first, 1, 2, 3, 6 of them here on this page, right? Dutchman right here is my fave, man. I like the way that one turned out. Okay, so let's go to the back of the instruction sheet. And we'll get to see the rest of them. Let's go. Yeah, so here's 1, 2, 3, 6 more. Again, pick your poison on which one you want. So you can see the various fin flashes. So interesting here, El Lobo had two different styles of this wolf on its nose. It has this one, which is the one that's in most of the pictures that we received. Then there was another version where there was horns coming off his head, and then this piece of art here did not exist. Talking with the pilots there, they honestly said that they couldn't remember when those horns were there and when they weren't. They're too busy actually doing real work, like flying combat missions. It's interesting to talk to them because they didn't even realize that Mullet had artwork on the speed brake. They're like, dude, we just step to the airplane, we brief, we go fly. Had no idea. When I mentioned that to them, they were like, oh, I've got to step out to the airplane and go see that because I didn't even know that was there. And they got some pictures for me. So, yeah, interesting. So there was a fake ad that got put on the internet about these nicotine pouches. So I was talking to one of the drivers out there at at the squadron, and he said that yeah, they do, like pretty much everyone in the squadron would fly with these Zinn nicotine pouches. Just kind of keeps your SA up. You know, long sorties, multiple tankers, and it's at night. You kind of hear the same thing from naval aviators, where they're popping Jolly Ranchers when they're coming in for night traps, just to kind of get the eyes opened up and you know, wake them up again. So they have a lot of the pilots had these Zinn pouches that they had sewn into their combat vests, but a lot of guys just set them on the instrument panel. So what we've included is actual Zinn nicotine pouch decals in our decal sheet, and then we've also included some artwork on the instruction sheets. You guys can cut out the American flag and place it on the instrument panel if you'd like. So cool little extra for you guys, right? You deserve it. Let's look at the other instruction sheet here, and then we'll get into the decal sheet. You can see how awesome this nose art turned out. So, okay, the second instruction sheet, standard stencil placement guide for the basic aircraft. And then something you guys want to be aware of is that, so if you build Mullet, it's the only jet that didn't have the old style upfront controller. So you can Google that. You'll see what that is. So Mullet was the only one that still had the old style one. So note to self whenever you start throwing your model together. All the airplanes though did have the RMP mod, which is the APG-82 radar upgrade. So the only way you can tell that upgrade exists is that you have these lightning diverter strips on here. That's how you can tell. Okay. I don't know of anyone that makes a resin conversion radome for this kit. It seems something you might be able to do easy enough with some stretch sprue, up to you, but that is a definite difference in the radomes on these aircraft when they have the RMP mod. Okay? Okay, B2 here. So we attempted to get loadout information, but that stuff is not for open discussion or for public consumption. So if you look online, I think you can piece stuff together. If it's out there, it's out there, but you're not going to find it here on our instruction sheets. So what I can tell you, though, is that there's a combination of these GBUs and 120s and AIM-9Xs. Again, what exactly the configuration was on these aircraft, just going to have to do your own research or figure it out. Okay? So that's that. So those are the instruction sheets. Okay, so let's get into the decal sheet, because this is really something that you guys should look at, and you really get to appreciate it when you see it up close. Oh, also forgot to mention, Sniper XR pod markings are on the decal sheet. And then our guys, our buddies at Third Offset have done side view lithographs of all these aircraft. You can find them online. The URL's on the instruction sheet and on our website, actually, so you can go check them out. But the reason that I bring them up is because they're the ones that actually did all the nose art. So the guys at Third Offset were working directly with the folks at the squadron to do some prints of all the aircraft while they were out deployed. So all this nose art had to get drawn, and they drew it not as it was like designed on a PowerPoint presentation. They drew it exactly as it was applied to the aircraft. So there's going to be variations between what the initial concept was versus what was actually applied to the aircraft. And then, you know, they put this nose art on with chalk, right? So all those subtle nuances and variations and blending of all these different colors, you're going to see on this nose art. So in every piece that I'm going to zoom in here, you're going to be able to tell that stuff, right? So like as an example, you look at Red Tail Angel. All these gradient fills, they were recreated so well by Cartograph when they printed these out. It's just incredible. And, you know, in 48 scale, I mean, if you look close enough, you could definitely tell the difference, but it really pops at you when you're looking at, it zoomed in on the decal sheet. So imagine what this guy's going to look at 30 seconds, still TBD on whether I'm going to do that or not. But you can, I mean, just the amount of hours that went into all this art, nose art, to make sure it's right and correct and accurate. Just so many clicks. Some of these you can tell way better than others. Like Dutchman as an example. All these gradient fills here, they printed out so well on the actual decal sheet. When you guys get your sheets in the mail, you'll be able to tell. Like, look at this gradient fill between the red and the gray here. And then some of the nose art changed. Like I talked about the werewolf itself, and then Jet 2002 with the smoke coming out, the vents on his nose, I guess, for lack of a better term. So this was not on the initial concept. This is what was applied to the aircraft, though. So there's that. And then you can see in things that you would suspect would be just done as a solid color, they're not. All these gradient fills are captured in the actual decal, to include the name of the artist that came up with all this stuff, all this nose art. Pretty incredible work by the guys at Third Offset. Some more examples here. Just incredible stuff. So again, all this was captured so well on the decal sheet. You guys are going to be pretty happy when you see it. If we look at, where is it? Oh, the insert. Okay, so you got two sets of stencils here, okay? And what's down here on the bottom, you have two sets of fin flashes, one for the Great Wall kit and the other for the Revelogram kit. So the vertical stabs are shaped differently, as are the IFR receptacles. So whichever one you guys choose to do, you guys can do. Also, make sure you remember that this top guy here has a red eyeball. And that one goes with the, oh dang it, what's the, that goes with this guy, 91604. You can see the red eyeball here. So make sure you only use that one for that specific version as you're going through your build. Okay, so all the stencils are here. The different styles of squadron, wing, command markings. You got enough stencils here to build 2 complete aircraft. Okay. You also see that the Great Wall and Revelogram horizontal stab decals are different size because they're different on the kit. And then insert 2 captures the LN tail codes and then Jet 3000. So that's it, man. I can't say enough about the work that the guys at Third Offset did on this nose art. It truly is incredible to see it up close. I mean, working with it over the course of a week and a half while I was pulling this together, I just appreciate it more and more every time I looked at it. It's a great job by Waco. So yeah, $22, 2 full instruction sheets, 2 full decal sheets plus a small insert, solid deal. Again, get them while you can get them because once we sell out, they're gone forever. We never reprint any sheets around here. So 72nd is off to the printers, and 32nd, I'm still kicking it around. So enjoy. Thanks.